We have not received any data or specific evidence from the US government relating to the purported origin of the virus. So from our perspective, this remains speculative, but like any evidence-based organisation, we would be very willing to receive any information that purports to the origin of the virus, because, as Maria said, the origin of the virus is a very important piece of public health information for future control. So if that data and evidence is available, then it will be for the United States government to decide whether and when it can be shared. But it's difficult for WHO to operate in an information vacuum in that specific regard. So we focus on what we know, we focus on the evidence we have, and the evidence we have from the sequencing and from all that we have been advised is the virus itself is of natural origin, and we need to understand more about that natural origin, and particularly about intermediate hosts. This issue was one of the recommendations of the Emergency Committee on 30th of January. It was subsequently repeated in the advice the other day. The Director General, when he visited China when I was there with him, raised the issue at the highest level. Not as a specific issue, but we've been saying this since the beginning. We have to control this outbreak, and this is the most important thing we have to do. But we have to also understand the origin so that we can put in place the right public health and animal-human interface policies that will prevent this happening again. This is not unique. We have done the same in the Middle East with MERS. We have done the same with Ebola in Africa. Understanding the host animal, understanding the intermediate species, and understanding how to protect human beings in that cycle is exceptionally important. Whether that requires changes in our engagement with the natural environment, whether it requires changes in animal husbandry, when it requires changes along the food chain, we won't know exactly how that is to be managed unless we understand the animal host and the animal intermediate species. And that's an exceptionally important piece of information. Right now we have to deal with the pandemic and we've got to get it under control, but that does not lessen the importance of doing that other work. We have offered, as we do in every case with every country, assistance with carrying out those investigations, and I'm sure our colleagues in OIE and FAO are equally keen to offer that support. But again, a bit like the mission in February, we need to understand that we can learn from Chinese scientists, we can learn from each other, we can exchange knowledge, and we can find the answers together. If this is projected as aggressive investigation of wrongdoing, then I believe that's much more difficult to deal with. That's a political issue. That is not a science issue. We see scientists in China communicating, collaborating around the world right the way through this pandemic. We would like to see that spirit continue, and we would like to see scientists at the centre of the exploration of the source of this. Science needs to be at the centre. Science will find the answers. The implications of those answers can be dealt with from a policy and political perspective. So if we have a science-based investigation and a science-based inquiry as to what the origin species and the intermediate species are, then that will benefit everybody on the planet. And we believe that can be achieved with the appropriate approach